Okay, we're going to go over an indirect proof. So I have a statement, given AB is not congruent to CB, prove that BD is not a perpendicular bisector of AC. Every indirect proof starts out with contradicting what you want to prove. So I'm going to start and say, okay, I'm going to assume that BD is a perpendicular bisector of AC. That's my assumption. And of course, I'm going to have my given, which is that AB is not congruent to CB. Now I'm going to proceed just like I normally would on a proof. So if BD is a perpendicular bisector of AC, then I know angle BDA and angle BDC are right angles, and that's because perpendicular lines form right angles. And if these are both right angles, it follows that angle BDA is congruent to angle BCD because all right angles are congruent. So now I've got this. Now let's address the bisector. If BD is a bisector of AC, then I know that this equals that. So AD is congruent to CD because I was told this is a segment bisector. A segment bisector creates two congruent segments. And I have that BD is congruent to itself. That's the reflexive property of congruence. So I now have enough to show I have two congruent triangles. Triangle ADB is congruent to CDB by side angle side congruence, and I got that from steps 4, 5, and 6. That means that AB is congruent to CB by CPCTC. But remember, I had a given that AB was not congruent to CB. So I have my contradiction. So statement 9 is contradiction because 2 conflicts with 9. And then you end it with a therefore statement. Therefore, BD is not a perpendicular bisector of AC. So once again, in an indirect proof, you take what you want to prove, you assume the opposite of it is true, and that's your assumption. You use the given that you have for your proof in the next step, and then you just follow it until you show that this given is contradicted. So give yours a try.